the NWF Champion Ace.
The NWF World Champion now is Kid Kelsey.
The world champion is next.
Crossen, your new champion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Revolution Keaton on NWF Wrestling, as well as Wrestling Revolution Keaton YouTube channels. We are live. And Keaton, I mean, I know, you know, of course, we got this big match coming up with Ben and Ricky, Canary Kid. And I know you've seen the Forward show. You know something? I got to just say this. I'm going to just say this quick about Canary Kid, you know, because he thinks he has this thing all wrapped up, but I don't know why they did this best of 3, but he thinks he has it wrapped up. But boy, did you see his face when he found out he might have to get in the ring with me if he ends up sweeping Ben? Did you see that?
I'd be scared if I had to get in the ring with you as well. I would want to I wouldn't want to be fighting that old man.
Well, listen
and
here,
ruin my reputation.
Keaton. I know a poker face when I see it. Canary's pretty good at the real look was the beginning. Then he puts on this facade. Listen, he doesn't want to get in there with me anymore, and I don't even want to get in there. I'm coming to referee this damn thing. I'm not coming. And if I have to get in there, I'm not going to be happy, and that's bad news for this Canary Kid. I'll say that. And listen here, Ben Nelson, yeah, he's backed against the wall now. He better come through. If he doesn't, he's out in this next match they got coming up. Well, it's, you know what, Keaton, let me tell you something, young man. You're putting the carriage before the horse. Let's wait and see what happens on May 17th.
Pretty obvious.
Because all I know, I'm not going, Keaton, I'm not coming 5,000 miles. And if I have to get in that ring again, I'm just not going to be happy. And like I said, Canary Kid, I dare you to start kicking my knee and then put a figure 4 leg lock on. And I'll show him what happens. He'll be the one tapping. Like I said, I'm still fired up from the show that last Friday, I got to say. But you know what? We got some great guests coming in here that we're going to talk about. Titanic Wrestling. Keaton, tell us who we got coming in.
So we've got, I believe, 2-time tag team champions. One of the most up-and-coming stars in all of Titanic Wrestling. The Bais, the team of Big Ro and KMK. So
yeah, and 2-time you said?
I think it's 2-time, yeah.
Yeah, so this will be great. And so, yeah, we're going to learn all about this. You know, we've had some, I was here with him when we talked to JDP and the Standard, which are great interviews. I think this is going to be another one. So this should be great stuff. And yeah, let's check it out and see what happens and how this goes. Let's bring him in. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our screen with our guests. There we go. The Bais. So Big Ro, is it KMK? That's what you go by?
The bigger one is Big Ro, and I am KMK.
All right. So welcome in, guys. I know you're going to put up with my North American accent. I know you're not used to it, but probably over there. But I'm not used to your guys either. So we'll just.
I'd say there's more of a disconnect with our accent for you than there would be for you now. 100%. We can hear you loud and clear, Crusher.
All right, I suppose. Well, Keaton, we got some comments coming in. I'll let them kind of build a little bit. Why don't you just get started with some of your questions here, and let's get rocking and rolling.
Yeah, so KMK and Big Ro, thank you very much for coming on here. So I want to ask you, what is your first memory of pro wrestling?
I before, what would it be? Before WWE moved to Sky, it used to be on like free TV on Saturday mornings. And I know the schedule. It used to be like Dick and Dom in the Bungalow. Shout out to Dick and Dom in the Bungalow. What a show. And straight after that, it would be the airing of SmackDown from the night before. And I remember the first time I watched it with my brother was the time that Brock Lesnar gave that superplex to Big Show on SmackDown. And then the ring just like collapsed. That was my very first
Yeah, I remember that.
like 3 or maybe 4. And whenever I remember seeing it, I was like, what the hell's going on here? You remember that, Keaton? Were you not like -6?
Yeah, well, once I remember it, I saw it on YouTube, but like,
All right, I thought you asked.
yeah, no, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And what about you, Big Ro?
I remember that match very vividly as well. As one of the first matches I seen. I remember being younger and my name also always shows that I'm a big fan of the show. Just all I remember mainly from like early age watching it is just the Big Show. Like all the matches that I got, and then obviously I got older, start to remember other things. But like my earliest memories of wrestling is just ever the Big Show.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And was that the moment that when you thought when you first saw wrestling, is this what you thought? This is what I want to do, or was it a bit further on when you started watching it?
For me, early on, you watch it and you're like, you recreate it in the house and you mess around and things like that. We all tried it. I would say whenever I watched it back then, I was more just a fan. It wasn't until I got older I really wanted to try it, see where I could go with it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I was the exact same. And I think when I was like in primary school, I was like, yeah, I want to grow up, be a big wrestler. I want to be like Undertaker. But then I kind of just, I don't want to say grew out of it, but I kind of did drift away from wrestling for a period of time. I feel like every wrestling fan had that period where they just stopped watching. So I stopped watching for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got back into it when I finished secondary school. And then I still didn't really have the drive to like try it because I thought I was seeing all these people doing like moonsaults and jumping out of the ring and doing 300 spins in there. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'll just happily enough watch. And then I went to university, and I think near the tail end of university, I was kind of like, I don't know, kind of got that deep pull to really give it at least a shot. So I remember doing a couple of months training over there, and then unfortunately that was the COVID lockdown. So after graduation, I then finally went on to Titanic, and then never looked back.
Yeah. And I saw when I was at a Titanic show, obviously you were in the front row attending a show, and then a year later you come main eventing a Titanic, and being one of the top attractions at Titanic. What was the journey like from being a fan to being like wrestling?
It was hard. Whenever you first start, you watch it, you expect it to be easy, and it's not. It's really not easy. It took us a long time. Well, I know for me personally, it took a long time before I like built up and started to do stuff properly. It was very much in my own head and trying to work everything out. You can see in a lot of the old shows us sitting everywhere in the crowd just watching and taking it in, and even then, still not really know exactly what's going on. But just over time, getting there, and it's been a privilege to work so hard to get up where we're at now.
Say, guys, there's one thing that's happening here, and I think I know what might be causing it when you're talking. If you know that in your settings here on this streaming thing, there's in your audio settings, there might be a noise cancellation that might have to be turned on or off, whatever it is, whatever it's on right now. You might want to toggle it, and that should help that.
Is that better?
It's not cutting out anymore, but yeah, you're really quiet now, though.
And you're double sounding as well, Crusher.
Yeah, we are double sounding, but that's just because you have to turn your volume down a little bit on the actual iPad, and that'll usually solves that.
Is that better now?
There, can you? I'm still hearing a little bit. I mean, it's better for you. You know what? Maybe you should turn the noise cancellation back on or whatever, and then you might have to just get a little closer, is all. And I think that would solve it.
Try that.
There, now
Testing,
you're,
testing.
Is that
Hello,
better?
hello.
yep, you're there. But yeah, you
Oh,
just might have to
perfect.
move it a little bit closer to the iPad, and then I think that noise cancellation thing will
Set
work
real
proper.
close. We can set real close, Crush.
Yeah, now,
That's-
yeah. Actually, now it's a little bit better now. Yeah. All right, Keaton, and let me get some comments in here since we
Mhm.
got some. So Darren says, when the Bais are on a show, the fans leave with smiles on their faces.
That's good to hear.
That do be the goal, Darren Whiteside.
And,
as pros.
And then the stars aligned says this,
Oh,
stars.
okay.
They're questioning you guys, stars. And then they say, they follow up with tag team legends. You're joking me.
Unfortunately, the stars aligned have extraordinarily limited verbiage. So whenever they just sent in that stars, that's like the one word they know. So they thought they were being very impressive. I'm actually surprised they managed to copy and paste tag team legend into the comment box. That's you know what? Round of applause for the stars. That's good job. Good job. Now they're a trio of morons, so I don't have much to.
I agree with every statement that was made there.
Well, I just dealt with one a couple days ago. And then Kevin Meza says, this is interesting. Who's the best wrestler between you two?
Oh, Kevin Meza, you dirty dog.
Yeah, this one puts you on the spot.
That can't be decided between us. That's the only way to decide that is in a professional wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And you've never wrestled each other?
Nope.
Okay.
Too friendly. Can't be fighting.
And Maya Revolution, Keaton, I'm getting caught up, and then you'll be back at it. Maya Revolution says, did you know each other from school days?
Yes, we met in high school. So we met at the start of high school. And we've known each other since.
So probably since we were about 12?
12,
yeah. We met each other when we were 12, and then we kind of just end up in the same kind of friend group that we're into to this very day. And then when we just both decided to start wrestling training together. So we know each other for what's that, about 12 years? Yeah, 15, 12 years.
15, 12 years.
15 to 12 years. One or the other. About as long as Keaton's been alive, roughly.
And then, 13. And then Darren says, Keaton, do you have your Uppa Bais t-shirt on? He's asking.
No, I don't.
So you don't have the t-shirt on?
Gosh darn
Have
it,
a
Keaton.
different.
Better not be a Stars Line shirt. Oh, okay.
Terrible.
Okay, Keaton, I cannot believe you. As we set up there, wasn't it? Did that to rattle us, get us on the wrong foot. Okay. I see you, Keaton.
All right, Keaton, we're caught up.
You did mention there that the Stars and Line are an awful trio, but they did kind of beat you for the tag team titles. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. They did beat you for the tag team titles. So what do you think about that?
They beat us, but did they beat us clean?
No.
Nah, that's all I have to say on the matter.
Look, Keaton, you were there. You want to talk about front rows? I believe you were in the front row, if I'm not mistaken. There's been a lot of times and a lot of matches where the Bais, particularly me, I won't lie, is in a big spot of bother. We're in a bit of trouble. The Stars, they had their belts, our belts at the time, and they were going to give us a wee crack. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe the Big Ro would have jumped in. Maybe I would have dodged out of the way, but nope. The bad guys hit the ring, and all of a sudden, somebody who's not even in the match is hitting me in the side of the head with the tag team belt. Like, what? How can you plan for that? There's no plan for that. So I don't know. It's not the most. I wouldn't walk up and down the roads proclaiming victory if that was how I won the belts first time. That's just me. First time we won the belts, it was a fair best 2 out of 3 falls.
Did you guys really do a best 2 out of 3?
Yeah.
That's like old school. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Standard, I believe, who were on the show, and we beat them 2-1. Yeah. And we didn't even need outside interference to help us.
And then the Stars Aligned are laughing, and they said, yes, Keaton. I don't have to bring them in, but when they noticed the shirt. And then and Darren says this. We'll bring this one in. Sorry, Bais. Keaton is sleeping in the dog kennel tonight.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Darren. Good job. Make sure that lock's nice and tight. Appreciate that.
Maybe we can get Darren to do that when you start talking about how I disrespect the Canary Kid. I like to see the same dog kennel there, Darren.
Oh,
Put him in the dog kennel for that, too.
Is that a dog kennel match brewing there, boys? That's old school wrestling there.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
now,
my opinion. The stars. Sorry, continue.
so now, I remember I interviewed you before Big Ro, and you said that one of your idols was the Big Show. Would you say that you get a lot of your style from the Big Show?
Try to. He was a lot bigger than me, so he was a lot stronger than me, so he can do a lot more things that I definitely can't. But I try to emulate him in places just as a sign of respect. But I try and be my own person as well. Like you can't just emulate one person and then be them your whole career, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, he was a
Definitely.
big
Yeah,
guy.
I do try and do what he can do, if that makes sense.
You know, I don't know if you guys know, but he had the same thing that Andre the Giant had, that disease that you keep, you know,
Hmm.
keep growing
Yeah.
your organs. But he got the procedure done to stop it, where Andre
Yeah.
didn't, because Andre thought it would kill his gimmick.
Hmm.
So, you know, he didn't want to, you know. So yeah, but that's interesting that what do they call it? The Giant's disease, I think.
I think it's gigantism. I think it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
They skipped that one with me. I
And
didn't get that disease.
and I've noticed something in the ring. Big Ro, I know that Big Ro, the character would be a larger than life character, a fun big guy in the ring. So
Yeah.
there's someone that you remind me of in WWE, and that'd be Ivar. You know, he's a bigger guy, and he does all the kind of like high flying moves, like you do
Yeah.
moonsaults and all. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, if we can make it to where Ivar is right now, I wouldn't say no. So
Does that make me Eric?
Suppose so.
Okay.
You do the short
yeah,
fall,
good enough. Yeah.
But no, when you were talking earlier about, man, I don't know if I could do these moonsaults. I understand. I mean, back in my day, that wasn't even a move. So I can relate to, like, I don't know if I could. I'm thinking back in the day, I don't know if I could even do that. You know, at least you think that way until you actually start doing it, I suppose. But
yeah.
I mean, it takes a while to learn that kind of stuff, though. You know,
Yeah, 100%. It's not really a day one wrestling school thing. It's kind
No,
of
definitely not.
right?
Rachel C says, "I feel like you're more Valhalla KMK."
Thanks, Rachel C. I'm getting rinsed in this here. Appreciate the comment, Rachel C. Yeah, I'll be sure to wear the horns next shift. Nice.
So, now that you have kind of developed your characters in the ring, how would you describe your character?
Ooh.
I believe our characters are just us turned up to 1,000.
Yeah.
Anyone that knows us in and out of the ring will tell you that we're just the same. It's just the same people. There's nothing really differentiating us from the in-ring characters.
Yeah,
So now-
I think it's just if you put us in the situations that our characters end up in, that's how we would react. That's how I think of it. I really don't think of it as like a separate person. Like my ring name is literally just my initials, so it's really not, in my mind, it's not two separate people. It's like I'm one and the same. Just it's not every day I'm getting hit in the head by a belt with the JDP. So it's just the situations.
And you guys are babyface then?
Yeah.
Because obviously with Stars Align, I'm assuming. So have you ever done heel?
There is a system thing, or I don't know what the word for it is, down in Fight Factory, pro wrestling, where they do like a thing called Next Gen, and they just kind of throw matches together. And I don't even know if you'd say heel or babyface, but the drive down there kind of irks us. So we wrestle a bit more aggressively, if you would say it like that, where we were thrown together with teams and we're like, you know what, we drove down here for 2 hours. The traffic lights don't work the way they're supposed to. I'm getting frustrated, so I'm just going to attack the person in the ring a bit more viciously. When we're well rested, it's in Belfast, that's easy. We'll be nice and kind. But that darn Dublin drive with their ridiculous traffic lights, the traffic lights don't work the way they're supposed to. Then we get a bit hurt. That's us. That's all I can say.
And you know, I obviously you guys have been talking there. You said you've been friends for 12, 15 years. So would you say that in the ring you get a lot of like in-ring chemistry with each other, and with knowing each other quite a lot? I think that's.
100%. Yeah, I think I have no idea how people who weren't friends outside of wrestling become a tag team, because there's such like a close knit relationship. Where like I like, if the worst came to worst and the Big Ro and I did ever break up as a tag team, I wouldn't just be like, right, next tag team with them. Like,
Yeah.
I think that shines through in our matches as well. Hopefully, maybe I don't really know, but I feel like whenever you trust the person you're in the ring with and you have like that chemistry outside the ring, then it really translates in the ring, where people can see like, all these people actually do like each other. This isn't just like a professional thing; it's also like a personal thing. Like when we go to like WWE live events together, people see us and they're not like, oh, well, they're not just doing that in card. They're like, these are two people who actually like spend time with each other outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that when you're in the ring with each other as well. You know each other very well. So let's say there was a scenario where maybe you forgot a spot in the ring. If could you guys do a signal to each other, or something like that? Because you know each other so well that you'd be able to just do a certain move.
I mean, if something goes wrong, we fix it. We know each other. We know each other inside out. So we kind of we don't even need to give a signal half the time. Really, we just kind of. But most of the time, we just both know exactly what to do. I wouldn't say there's ever a time where we're throwing up hand signals to each other or giving each other a wee side eye look to be like, this is what we have to do. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, I think part of that is like the trust as well. Like
Yeah.
the trust translates into even if I go out there and I forget something, the Big Ro knows he doesn't have to think for me, and I don't have to think for him.
Yeah.
Like if we mess something up, we can fix it ourselves. We don't have to be like, oh, what do I do now? You know what I mean? That's part of the trust in the relationship.
I'd say 3-4. A lot of times botches, you work. People don't even realize there was a botch sometimes, because it's like it just wasn't the way you wanted it, but it still comes off. I'm gonna bring us into the watch along screen, because that way we can start watching some footage, and we'll still keep talking. So Keaton, I'm just gonna move us over there.
It was the Titanic
There we go.
Wrestling Tag Team Championship.
Speaking of the 2 out of 3 falls match,
The standard. The Tag Team Champions.
Hear my voice.
I know. I put it down a bit. Is that still too loud? Do you think?
Big Ro was possessed by the spirit.
I get that down a little bit more.
Rogue here.
oh, are we getting any, just as a little audio test? Are you just getting any feedback when we talk again?
Yeah, no, we can hear you fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want this to switch now?
That's year one wrestling school gear there. Extra Amazon.
So you got different gear.
And yeah, that was always a big thing. We would always like, I think our first year was literally shorts from Primo.
Yeah.
And we wrestled for about 6 months, and then we got the Amazon number there. We wrestled them for about, that was probably another 6 months as well. And then finally we got like our custom made gear. And we have them since, just the one night. Celine.
And where is this
Yeah.
venue at here?
The Black Box.
Black
It
Box.
was a little, I think it was a theatre, or it was a bar or something. I think it was like a half theatre, half bar, if such a thing exists. It was actually really good. It was nice, like the way the Black Box was. It was really like intimate and dark, which is really good for wrestling.
Yeah.
But they had bars. I don't know if you can see in this footage, but they had like bars on the roof. So I think it was a good repeat venue, but it was good for the time.
Yeah, it was very
There's
restrictive in terms of I personally couldn't pick something above my head or they would hit the roof. So you had to try and like, restrict yourself from what you could do. But in terms of atmosphere, it was probably one of the best venues that we've worked in.
Yeah.
So Maya just has
Yeah,
a
well,
question on what we were just watching, I think. So I'll bring that in quick. Was that Knuckle Dusters?
Yes. So we fought the standard the time before this match. I got dragged outside the ring. I got put in a choke. They slid it, Knuckle Dusters, and KMK took the Knuckle Dusters to the chin and we got. So obviously we got a rematch for the belts. We tried to do it again. It slid through Eddie Stone's legs. KMK got them. I had to jump. They did nothing else. It was just A 1 for 1, an eye for an eye.
Oh, they are.
And by the way,
That's the real play
Stars
there.
Aligned has also
That
commented
game
here.
for
They
a-
said,
oh, here they go.
"Oh, now who's cheating to win titles?" In all caps. So I guess they're yelling it.
Well, that's when we had a big yelling until somebody listened. No, it wasn't really a cheat. We didn't go out and we didn't grab the knuckle dusters and just start wheeling anybody we saw. They slid them in, they introduced them, so it's fair game. We're not like Quiddy Roots. We're not gonna hesitate. No knock on Quiddy Roots. I'm just saying. In case he's watching.
So, you started training not too long ago, and you have came on so well. Even being trusted to wrestle like the Saviors of Destiny, one of the best tag teams in all of Ireland, and they're
Yep.
incredible wrestlers in the ring. So you've came on so well, and there's something about that. Obviously, the training in Titanic must be incredible. So, what's the best piece of advice that came out with from JDP, and what's the best thing you've learned from JDP?
Good question.
I honestly, I could think for about 10 minutes, and I don't know if I can narrow it down to one singular piece of advice. It's just more of like, JDP in particular is really good at like seeing you do something and then explaining like the reason why that doesn't really work as well in the context of wrestling. So it's more like you go out there and do like 100 different things, and they'd be like, 98 of them are really good, but this is the reason why you don't do these two things, because like in the audience's mind, this is what happens and this is what happens. You know, it's hard to narrow it down to one. That I think of right now.
The one thing I would say that stands out for me, advice specifically from JDP, is when I first started, I went back for taking 5 million steps to get to somewhere. He pulled me aside one day and told me to just relax, take a little step, stop tiptoeing in the place, and be bigger, strong, middle of the ring, hold the middle of the ring. And it's really, like, that piece of advice really clicked with me. And it took me a while to learn, because obviously you're picking up muscle memory from whenever you're first training. But after I developed that, it just feels a lot better, a lot more smooth, and taking less steps, and everything's a bit more fluid. That was probably the biggest thing I've took from JDP.
Big kick Andy Steele.
Yeah, it seems like good
Loves his
advice.
kicks. Sorry, I got that.
Oh yeah.
He's going to kick me in a couple of seconds. Sorry, Dan, he's going to kick me here in a couple of seconds, and it will drive every inch of wind out of my lungs. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Look at that. Thanks, Andy. Anyway, sorry, what was your next question?
So was that? I'm just wondering there. So that was interesting. So that kick actually really did hurt.
Yeah, he kicked me in the side of the ribs. Here's what it is. It's not ballet. These are two people I personally don't like very much. Here's what it is. It's wrestling. You're not going to get along with everybody. Arguably, you could argue. Start fine. Have the belts. Arguably the worst Titanic Wrestling tag champions of all time. You could argue it. Could you? What do you think? You could argue
I don't know about that.
Oh, I know about it. They won the
I
belts.
think
Defended it 0 times. Got stripped.
And then a comment from Darren on this. It says, the atmosphere was amazing when you won the tag team championships at the Black Box. Cholos. Is that Cholo? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Cholo. Cholo's reaction was
priceless.
Wait.
Cholo.
I thought it was Cholo as well, I can see.
Chloe is my other half.
Okay.
He's at all of our matches. Been there since day one.
Well, that would explain this comment, guys, because I missed this one, but this must be the same person.
There's Cholo.
I may be biased, but the bias show, the bias show the best of Irish wrestling.
That is her.
Yeah.
Now, if you watch Keaton's footage of us winning the belts the first time, she's on the right hand side, and she jumps up and she's jumping down and she's crying and she's there for every match.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Cholo. You're
Um, it's a bit hard to hear. You're breaking up a bit.
Oh,
Do we need to do the audio test there?
No, you're good. You're good. It's just a bit the Bais Big Ro. I think you're the one that's kind of chopping, right, Keaton?
oh,
A little bit.
Yeah.
Is that better now?
Yeah, when you get closer, it's good.
Oh, okay.
I hate to make you get close, like you don't
No.
want to, but
Yeah, close in person. Excellent.
I don't know what you heard there then. So
I didn't really hear much, to be fair.
I can't remember what I said now.
Very much we appreciate Cholo's support, and it's Big Ro's girlfriend.
Yeah,
That's the spark notes.
that is basically what I said. Yeah.
I love this match. So that I was there in the front row
clothesline.
thinking, what a match that was.
Yeah. I'd like it if I did the rest of Saviors of Destiny. Yeah, anybody else? I would say it's not great, but it's those two. So, no hate though.
I'm so distracted by this match. Like it's amazing. So what's your opinion on this match?
This was the one in November, wasn't it? November 23. The first time we wrestled.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't I remember this match. Other than there was one particular moment that I had earlier when still drove the air by a kick. I remember it being a good match. If I'm not mistaken, not to bury the lead, but this is the one where Stamina will come out. Yeah. I think this is the start of the Savior saga actually, because we never met the boys until yeah. No, I remember it being good. It was a lot different from our earlier matches. This is straight after the best 2 or 3 falls. This match was a lot more back and forth than normal. Big Pav on cam. Yeah, I do have fun in this match. Very much enjoyed it.
I got the whole good.
So you can tell that you are both very good friends. Would you ever go solo?
It's not really something that I've personally ever thought of doing. You never know where things might go or where careers lead or stuff like that. But
have you ever had
personally,
any singles matches at all, or?
Yeah, we've had a couple.
Yeah.
Alas. April. A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. We both had singles matches on that show. I think we've had 3 singles matches ever. But I just think we're having that much fun as a tag team, and we're doing well, and I don't rush to break up or change anything.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, obviously, it's if the time came for it to happen, then it would happen. But we're having such a good run right now as a tag team, and obviously we are friends outside of wrestling, so it's not like we're not going to be many personal issues that will come between us. Like it's no, for right now, we're very content where we are.
By the way, if I'm looking like this, it's only because I'm watching it. So it's just the way it is on the screen. So it always looks like I'm not paying attention when I'm actually watching the match. I hate that. I wish there's a way to fix that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this venue. I've seen other
obviously,
things from here before.
Yeah, that would be our primary venue, Connswater.
Yeah.
They've rejigged the whole back set in the past couple of months. With a bigger entranceway and more lights and all that, so it really looks smart in there.
Yeah.
So the Bais, two of the one of the best tag teams in all of Northern Irish wrestling history. Obviously know a lot about tag teams, so I want to know what's your Mount Rushmore of tag teams.
We're not with tag teams.
Are you talking just like in the indie scene over there, or are you talking like in wrestling in general?
ever.
So ever.
First two that come to mind, not to look at all. Love the old school wrestling, but I'm a big fan of Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express in particular. I don't know, their stuff holds up 40 years later. It's always so good, it's always so smooth. So it'll be those two. When I was younger, I was a typical Hardy fan. So yes, they cannot I cannot throw Matt and Jeff in there.
Oh yeah.
I've always been a big fan of the Dudleys. Always liked the Dudleys. We got a nice wee opportunity in our TLC match to the Big Ro get the tables.
No,
It was a nice wee homage. I like that. That was it. Definitely say the Dudleys. Yeah. No, we need one more.
No, Dudley's would be your fault. No, yeah.
No. The Hardy. Rather Express. The Hardy.
The Hardy's place.
The Dudleys, sorry.
Midnight Express. This is the Bais official top 4 tag teams of all time. Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardys. Dudley Boys will be sneaking in there.
All
You know,
the mentioned Jericho.
A lot of it's always what you're used, what you've seen. Keaton, what is your Mount Rushmore tag teams?
Right.
So
Stars Align based on that shirt.
No, it wouldn't be the Stars Line either. So one of my favorite tag teams of all time are the New Day. So the New Day would definitely have to be on the list. I like the Usos as well. Then I would go with the Dudleys. And let me think. That's a hard one, because there's so many good tag teams.
There is.
Yeah. And there's so many eras of tag team wrestling where it's hard to just think up the top 4 of all time.
And it's all based on what you kind of got, what influenced you. For me, I couldn't do it without putting the Road Warriors in, just because they held every major tag team belt back in the territory days.
Yeah.
So they got to be there for me. And then, but then the British Bulldogs too, just because they were just that was so cutting edge at the time. Their style.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. There's so many good tag teams.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Express, be one.
They've been my Mount Rushmore. Like Express. Just kidding, they're all door.
And talk us through this match here, because this is you and the Lagan Express, yeah?
Yeah. Well, from this point onwards, I'm not really in the match for a while, because it showed that I moonsaulted myself to death on that ladder. That was fun. Very, very, very different than any other match we've ever had. So I don't even know how to describe it. Like,
when you throw tables, ladders, and chairs, and also the tornado stipulation in, like we're just traditional tag team wrestlers. So to have this match was really what. But no, I think if not, I don't know if this is going to be a favorite list, but I think if you were to ask me what my favorite match would be that we participate in, it'd have to be this one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on it.
I like this red mat. I mean, it really makes you guys stand out good on the camera and stuff. Like, this color.
Yeah, I think this was a one-time only thing, because in this match we're watching right now, it got ripped. I think that table might have got across it at some point, or a ladder or something went wrong, and there was a big rip down near the side of it. So it was very good. I think this was a Christmas show, so I think the red canvas was supposed to be like a holly jolly festive feeling canvas.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. It did look the part, especially in that darkened room.
Yeah.
So you're facing the Lagan Express here. On your tag team, what was it like working with some of the newer guys?
Is it Lagan Express with the newer guys? I think them boys.
Seems like the newer guys, yeah.
Them Lagan Express boys did sneaky.
That was nice.
Well, obviously the brothers, so they've been with each other since birth. I don't know which one of them's older.
I think they've been going longer than us.
Not too longer than us, mind. I think they might have started down in Fife,
yeah,
and then moved up here because they live up on the wagon. But no, now that there's a bit of separation from it, it's been 4 months since we had matches with them. I think I do look back on it fondly. Like obviously this match being my favorite match, I do have a lot of fond memories working with them. And they are very capable wrestlers. If they weren't such, they won't swear on this show, but if they weren't such ingenuous gentlemen, I would have fonder things to say with them. But
Oh,
here you go. Oh, big crotch.
sorry, Keaton. I'm just watching.
I catch myself
Let's
watching.
make Let's make sure we got any comments. This is weird. So Stars line just went ... on something that was said.
See, that's that limited verbiage.
Because I
from
didn't
Back
mention
Crusher.
this.
Oh, I see what they're saying.
They really can't string two words
Yeah.
together. Titanic put up a promo not too long ago, taking clips from your interview with them, and it was Madame Dread just saying the same thing over and over again. Like they really like. If you ever talk to them in real life, it's like the game of Sim.
There's not much going on behind them eyes. That's why they wear sunglasses all the time.
I feel in ways I feel sorry for them. Like, they can't hold a conversation. They can't string more than 4 or 5 words together. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's about the height of their vocabulary, unfortunately.
So how often are you having matches then? With Titanic, is it like a monthly thing or?
Sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's 2. It just kind of depends on the time of year.
But I mean, and then I guess the other question is, do you ever venture off into any of the other indie feds and do anything, or is it just Titanic?
We try and get around as best we can.
Yeah.
It just depends where's wanting us, sort of.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Fight Factory has those next gen shows, so we travel down for them, and then Titanic would be our home base, and then we're just trying to brunch out as much as we can.
Sure. And there was a question earlier. I guess we didn't bring it in, so I'm going to bring it in. What's a typical training session like for the Bais?
I think a big part of that depends on who's taking the training. Tucker, shout out to Tucker, my dude. He would be a lot focused on the chain wrestling aspects of it. So he's really like he's so spot those chain wrestling sequences and all that, and he's really good for that. And then the Dark Horse would also host a session. He's a lot more spot oriented, and he's a bit more fluid, to be fair. And then JDP, like I said, there's not really a typical session, to be honest. A lot of the times it does come to a point after the warm up where it's like, what do you guys want to do? Is there anybody in particular, like any area you need to work on? Like it could be striking, it could be cardio. So that would be. I guess if I had to say a typical session, it would be just warm up. What do you guys want to do? If you guys don't want to do it, and here's what I planned for. Thank you for the question, Phoenix Spots. Nice profile picture.
And so, do you compliment? How do you compliment each other's wrestling styles?
I think we work pretty well together, just in terms of I'm the big guy. I do a lot of the throwing around. KMK does a lot of the high flying. So there's a good. I always say, if you took both of us and combined us into one wrestler, you've got the perfect all-round wrestler. We have a bit of everything, but just split in half.
Yeah, and that's a perfect tag team as well.
Yeah, that's why it works so well together.
And you have both worked singles and tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the biggest challenge of working as a tag team compared to singles wrestling?
I'm not too sure.
I think there's a lot more. Whenever you're working as a tag team, there are points where you're on the apron, so you kind of do get a little bit more of I don't want to say rest because you're not exactly standing there looking. But singles match is a lot more. You're in it every step of the way. bang, bang, bang. There's not a lot of space for recovery. Whereas in the tag team, 9 times out of 10 in a match, I'm probably going to get the head beaten off me for a while, and then I finally get the tag to the big row. So that's my recovery period. Whereas that recovery period wasn't there. Where if you see my singles track record, without that recovery period, it's harder.
I would agree.
Definitely.
I would say singles, personally for myself, I get blown up. I get very quickly. I'll catch myself breathing heavy and be struggling real quick. Whereas you get that the tag team, you get the opportunity to rest on the apron. Without that, you do find yourself kind of looking for somewhere, like trying to get a bit of space away from your opponent to catch your breath, and sometimes you don't get it.
But also, it's a psychological thing as well. Like, if there's a lot more thinking. Not I'll say a lot more, but there's different things to think about when you're in a tag match. Like, even just as like a pro wrestler, like, you're not, when you're in a singles match, you really try and work towards like the entire crowd. And whenever you're a tag wrestler, you're always just trying to tag out or trying to get to your partner. There's just different ways. It's a different mentality to approach the matches. Like, I approach a singles match the same way I approach a tag match.
Yeah.
And are there any legendary tag teams that have inspired your style?
Don't say Jericho.
Jericho.
Don't say Jericho. No, we do not study Jericho tape. I don't think so.
I think it's hard to watch a tag team and take their style, because it really depends on the two individuals. So, like, we would look at the Hardys and be like, "Oh, let's just do what the Hardys do," because I couldn't do what the Hardys do. You could probably, but like, it's just, there's different aspects. You need to look at certain like individual traits to work. You would work at tag team.
Yeah, I think our dynamic is just so set in stone where it's like the big was the big guy and I'm the more athletic, flashy guy. Where like it all kind of filters through that. So there's a whole need to like go and like study the Chris Jericho and Big Show tape, because it's just all filtering through that single idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of tag teams like.
Looks like he really messed up his elbow there.
Oh, yeah,
He caught it on a table, I believe.
I feel too sorry for him, Crusher. He somewhat deserved it.
Go watch one of their promos and you'll automatically just not feel bad for him.
Yeah, 100%.
There's the finish.
That's what I said. This is on segment finish. That one hurt.
So, I know you do a move called the Bye Bye. How did you come up with that?
There's a way. I don't know how we actually got to that move, but there was a prototype version of the Bye Bye, which was, how the hell do you describe this? So we'd shoot someone off the rope. Yeah,
So we used to like double hip toss them and catch their legs, and then throw them up in the air. I would powerbomb, and KMK would do a neck breaker. We realized straight away it was a bit easier practicing it than it was doing it in an actual match, because in an actual match people start to sweat and they get slippy. So I think there's like one match we did it in. I think it was two matches. We did it on the first Gauntlet match that we were in, the match after that, and both times the people slipped. We were finding it really hard to do, so we're just like, you know what, this is not the one. And then I'm not sure how we come up with the Bye Bye.
I can't remember how we actually got the move, but whenever we did get the move and started doing it in shows, JDB came up to us, because apparently that was his finish he used with Butch Armstrong. He's like, "That's our finish," and I was like, "What?" I didn't know he used his finish. And then we were like scrolling through Instagram or something at some point, and it turned out that Debbie Keitel and Lyra Valkyria also used that finish. So maybe that finish comes to the team rather than the team look for that finish.
I think it was also used by Crime Time in WWE.
G9.
So they call it the G9. But we found out afterwards as well. So
we thought we invented it, and it turned out like
everyone teams. So
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 I was just looking, Keaton. So I was gonna ask a question though. So now, how long did you guys say? When did you guys start wrestling? How long has it been? Because I think I missed it in the beginning.
We debuted, was it March 2023?
Yeah.
March 2023 we debuted.
So
Yeah.
about
Started
what, two
training.
2 years? Two
Yeah.
years now. And you've already gotten the tag team titles twice, right?
Yeah.
So that's not bad in the first 2 years.
We should have only had it once. We shouldn't have lost it in the first place. But listen,
That's 100%.
it happened.
Yeah. No, that's. I wish we could sit here and say, yeah, we're prodigies, we're the most skilled wrestlers to come out of the country, but that's just a lot of hard work. That's just showing up, training, and no one's given opportunities. You have to show up and earn them.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So now that you have had 2 years in wrestling and you're a bit more experienced now, what do you think was the thing that you've kind of mastered now, but you couldn't do when you started out?
Not being in your own head while you're out there and actually enjoying being out there and being in the moment. Very tired. Like I was from our first few matches, and not I'd say first few matches, not until quite recently. I noticed that I would be out there standing on the apron, staring, being like, right, we need to do this, we need to be ready to count this, we need to be like, what are they doing? Whereas now I'm just out there and interacting with the crowd and taking everything in and just like free flow rather than being like ready to do this.
Mhm.
Just being more comfortable.
Do you guys, do they do this 2 out of 3 falls a lot now, or is that was just one time thing?
It was the one time thing.
One time thing.
If I'm not mistaken, it was like a fan vote thing where people would vote for the match on Facebook, and I think it was 2 out of 3
I
falls,
remember that.
falls kind of anywhere, and then a submission match. And I was praying by my bedside every night that no one picked submission match because I don't know a single submission. So thankfully they all voted for 2 out of 3 falls, and that's how we ended up with that. No, it's not very common. I think that's
Yeah.
only one in at least
the
I've watched.
one,
Yeah.
No, I mean it used to be a regular occurrence, like back when I was growing up on the TV stuff. They'd always do 2 out of 3 was like the norm. So it's like, but I didn't know if they still did that. I was kind of surprised when I heard that. So
Yeah, no, I think I was, like I said, it was just a one-off thing. It's not a regular occurrence, but it was.
definitely not.
yeah.
I do like a 2 out of 3 falls match. We need to bring it back.
Did you like it though? Like, was it fun doing that?
Yeah,
You know, compared to like a
it was
normal
a match. Well, we won our belts, so
Yeah.
the ending was fun. Everything between was a bit sore.
Yeah.
So now that you're already now that you have 2 years in wrestling, what's next for the Bais?
2 more, and then 2 more, and then 2 more. Just keep going. See
I
what
guess
happens, sort of thing.
I mean, kind of to double up on what Keaton said. Like, do you have any ambitions to like make it further in the business, or do you want to just stick with the indie scene?
I think everyone has the ambition to get further.
Yeah.
It's, find
Like-
them opportunities.
Like,
I
where would
think
be your
goal
goal?
for now
Like,
is to
let's say
to
where would be your goal to travel to? Like, where would you want? Like, if you could pick Japan or North America or Canada, like where would you want to go if you could pick?
I think everyone's goal. I got
'Cause
the dream goal, obviously.
You're kind of
Uh,
breaking up on us there again.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. So what was that again, though?
So I think everyone that I know anyway, the dream goal is WWE.
WWE.
So I would say personally for me, WWE, obviously you'd want to try and dip your toe everywhere. You'd like to travel to Japan and try it there, and you'd like to travel to North America and try it there. Just throughout Europe. I think us right now, uh, in the next couple of years, we will probably just try and dip our toes as many places as we can in terms of UK, Europe, maybe trying across to North America, and then find what opportunities can lead us to bigger opportunities like that. But it's kind of hard to say I want to go here because you need to try and find yourself first.
Yeah, and you need like contacts, connections. You need people that can get you there too. So it's always a a word of mouth thing, as far as getting your name out there, so people. And that's what's nice when you bring in talent that's from outside your promotion, then they can help do that.
Yeah.
Be the bridge.
Yeah, just trying to break into that international market, for lack of a better word. It's just branching out as much as you can, and then once you, I know it's not a linear path, but once you start branching out in other places, then other people will see you, and then that's just kind of, hopefully the snowball starts rolling.
Right.
But yeah, the end goal is just as high as it can.
When I was working with Eddie Sharkey, because that's the one I trained, who had trained with me, and because he trained the Road Warriors and Bob Backlund and all these big names, right? Everybody thought then in his indie promotion that they're going to be next. They're going to be the next one to go on. So everybody had that like mindset, like they're just because they're with Eddie, they can make it. And it's like, that's what I like today with all the indie feds now, is I think that's, there's enough indie feds now where it's more where you can do your thing and just really develop versus trying to think you're just going to be the next big star just because you're with somebody who's created them,
Yeah.
So, because there's a lot of, when you get in that kind of environment, there's a lot of people that just try to look out for themselves, thinking they're going to springboard themselves right, into the big time. So,
I don't hear that story that Kevin Owens would say about training with Jack Rochelle early in his career. And I'd be like, oh, this guy worked for WWF, he can get me as NWF. And then it didn't work out that way, and then he did it the independent way.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely changed. It used to be, could be mistaken, but if you listen to any of the old wrestling people, it was literally all about the connections, like who you related to and who you knew and all that. So it's
yeah.
I feel like a big part of it now as well is like social media. Like with the rise of social media, it's not really word of mouth anymore. Like everyone has eyes on you if you want them to have it, and you sort of thing.
Yeah, social media for you guys is huge now. I mean, and then to get a following and stuff, that's important. Yeah, for sure. And then Tara says this comment just came in. Ugh, the stars aligned.
I agree 100%.
I think maybe they've seen your t-shirt.
Tara. That's how most people react when they see them.
That's 4 more words than the stars.
That's so true.
An emoji.
No, I can't remember.
I know you're driving the ship, Keaton, but what compelled you to wear the Stars Line shirt for this interview? Was that just a little bit of a?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on that myself.
I didn't even look at what I was picking out.
That old trick. I see that trick. Okay.
Throw you on any old shirt, sort of thing.
Just happened to be the Stars Aligned. I didn't even realize. I believe you.
Yeah. Coincidence.
So, do you guys ever see yourselves breaking the tag team deal and just going off on? Like, I know we kind of talked about, but like, could you see yourselves doing it? I mean, I know you said you'd have a hard time maybe doing a singles match because you're comfortable with the tag team situation, as far as blowing up and stuff. But could you see yourselves maybe like? Because the only reason I ask, what if you got like, say, somewhere bigger and they said, you know what, we like it, but we want to split you up, or we want to do this, or want to do that,
I'm pretty confident we could both be singles wrestlers.
Yeah.
Just more about right now, it's more beneficial to be a tag team. I have no doubt that if the time came where it was just like we want to split it up, blah blah blah, whatever it is, or I feel like we could both be capable singles wrestlers. But it's just right now that the tag team deal is working out so well that there's not much rush to be like, look, there's a spot, we need to split up, try and get this now. It's just more. It's more two friends trying to live the pro wrestling dream.
And I know you said 2-time. Are you currently the tag champs then, or is it?
Ask Keaton and his t-shirt.
Nope, lost him.
They did lose him for that. And Stars Line, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Stars Line with an assist from JDP, I believe was on your show. JDP and his team partner DJ hit the ring. Don't know why. They came in. I pulled them around saying, JDP, what are you doing? Before I had a chance to say a word. tag belt off the side of the face, and then I woke up to the sweet, sweet sounds of
Show Must Go On by
Show
Queen.
Must Go On by Queen. That's how that happened. Not the most cleanest win, Keaton.
So, is there a rematch maybe in store down the road?
I'd like to hope so. We kind of want our belts back, but nothing's set in stone right now. Kind of have to just wait and see.
Yeah, Titanic Wrestling doesn't have rematch clauses, so it's just a matter of you're back in the line. Hope you're up for when it comes. Which I enjoy, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of that rematch clause business.
And then the stars line say, and it must be to you, Keaton, don't lie, kid. Referring to your answer on that shirt.
Don't lie, kid. That's impressive. They even put the little what's that little dot between the N and the T and don't. Good job. Hey, they're all right word for you, so you're actually learning the English language. Good job, lads. I do not like them people one bit. But Keaton does.
Explain why.
Can I explain why? Oh, how long do we have? Nah, it's just what can I say about them? I didn't really mind Mohan at the start. When we were breaking in, Mohan was a part of the Hallions, and Mohan and I come from similar backgrounds. Like we come from the performance backgrounds, and a lot of like pro wrestlers they start from like the sports oriented backgrounds. So there was a connection there where it's like, oh, we come from the performance side of this thing. And then I don't know what I think the Saved Destiny. Maybe I just still kicked him the rib or something. And then Mohan went off to New York to like do a Broadway play that maybe if people saw. And then he came back and he was just all waving that little gold trophy he won. And then Stu Parker was getting beat around the building by Gary Gibson. So then they formed teams. There's so much more things to list to not like them than to like them. If I had to say positive things about them, I'd say, you know what? Their shirts aren't too bad. And you know what? Their song isn't too bad. That's about it.
Song's awesome, to be fair.
Thanks, Keaton. Yeah, you know what's a good song?
It's one of the best songs.
Back in Town by Thin Lizzy. What do you think of that song?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good song as well. Good theme song. Both of them are good.
Which one's better?
I'm a big Queen fan, so the show must go on.
Oh, you like Queen? I never knew that, Keaton. I seem to know everything
they're
about
one
you,
of my
but I didn't
favorite
know
bands.
that. Yeah.
So you accidentally picked out that shirt you were saying?
Yeah, just came out.
Okay. I believe you.
So here's a question from Scenic Spots. Just says, did you attend many seminars, and who impacted you the most in their seminar? So out of any seminars you might have attended.
We've been to a couple, a good few seminars. Most recently, Flash Morgan Webster had a seminar with us in Titanic, which is a very good seminar. We've had big demo seminars. LJ, Rio, LJ Cleary.
We had a tag team seminar, which was particularly good in Fight Factory with the Greedy Souls, who are tag team wrestlers, and they're called Greedy Souls. That was very good. They helped really peel back the layers on tag team wrestling, and that was quite early in our careers actually. I think we might have had a couple of matches on shows, and then we went down to their seminar, and they kind of just gave it like a hey, look, this is a different perspective on tag team wrestling, so that really helped. I think who impacted you the most in their seminar? It's hard to say. I have to say I haven't been to a bad seminar. Yeah. Anyone who has hosted a seminar always comes with their A game, and I without fail I've walked away learning something. I think just because of the tag team specifications from the Greedy Souls, I have to say they probably impacted me the most, just because there was so much like it was all focused on tag team wrestling, whereas the other seminars are pretty more like a single based. So I have to say Greedy Souls impacted me the most in particular. Thanks, Titanic Spots.
Another comment.
What's that?
What a question.
We'll
have another comment there.
The Tara?
Who from the Stars Aligned from Stars 9 who says we don't like you either. And then Tara also,
whoa,
and
Keaton!
then
I
Tara
saw that
also
little
follows up.
comment that said Mohan was the worst commentator. You trying
I
to
seen that
slip
too.
that by us? Whose side are you on, buddy? I saw that comment.
We don't like you either. That's what Star's line said. Then
There.
Tara
That's
says,
a bring
Bring back Tara. Yeah.
"Is the worst commentator ever." Also,
Yeah, Mohan, whenever he came back from his little Broadway show, wherever the hell, 14 people, done commentary for a while. Man, did he suck? He was so bad. He was rotten. I think he made it like 2 shows, and the can't imagine was like, look, just please wrestle, so whenever you talk.
are you
And they
talking
toss him in
about?
his
Was he
match.
doing play-by-play, or is he actually just announcing?
I don't think he knew the difference. I don't think he knew the difference. He was just talking, and Tara was trying to right the ship, and CJ Mohan was just like blah 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 blah. We'd come out and be like, these guys are the luckiest wrestlers in Titanic history. Like, what are you talking about? No, I wish I could give you an answer, Crusher, but he didn't know, so I don't know.
Well, Darren wants to know: have you ever coached any of the newbies into the Titanic for their training, and any of the new guys, or maybe mentor?
We haven't personally taken any like classes or anything specifically. How it works in Titanic is you would do your beginners, and then if they feel like you're ready to move up, you would move up into the class with us and just train alongside us. We've had when people move up, we kind of will help them along whenever they're with us, but we've never like way to take a class or anything.
Yeah. And then this one comment just came in, Keaton. How's it pronounced? Sholey?
Cholet, yeah.
Sholey Holmes. Yeah, if Ricky was here, he'd be giving me he lets me know every time I mispronounce things. That's why I always ask now.
Yeah.
So I heard the Stars Align called the Bais one of the best in Europe.
They did indeed. They
yeah.
did indeed.
When they were on, that was a really good day, Crusher. They managed to string together about 4 or 5 sentences. And yeah, one of the sentences was, the Bais are one of the best tag teams in Europe. So yeah, they said that. That's clipped.
It's on video there somewhere.
That's on video.
And you know, I was just thinking, we didn't explain this. You know, you told me, Keaton, but for North America, they're not going to understand what we're talking about when we say the Bais. So do we want to explain what that means?
Yeah,
Or
well,
kind of what it would mean over here?
Is just another word for. Yeah, well, the Bais is just another word for the boys, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So
like the boys. Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah, so it's another way of pronouncing it in Northern Irish language, kind of like Northern Irish slang.
Right. So
there's actually a little tidbit story into our name.
Yeah.
We got our song as The Boys Are Back in Town.
Okay.
We got the song before the name, and we were like, well, we can't really come out to The Boys Are Back in Town and not call ourselves The Boys. So our name was, right up until the final hour, it was The Boys. And our first opponent, Lucas Lloyd Barr, he done a promo before our match, and he took out a little scrap of paper, and he was like, and we are fighting the Boys. So his mispronunciation of the boys actually came up with our name. So thank you, Lucas Lloyd Barr.
Didn't know that.
That's interesting. Yeah,
well,
but,
bit of knowledge there for you, Keaton, but you didn't know that.
Only because because I think I thought that was because I asked the same thing when I seen like, what's that mean exactly? The Bais, so he explained it to me. So
yeah, it doesn't really internationally. It doesn't really work. People like, well, I feel like a lot of people pronounce it as the bias.
Yeah,
which makes it seem like we are very biased towards something.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
No, it's just the boys, but pronounced differently.
Yeah. Well, Keaton, I think we're probably getting to the end here. Is there anything? You know what, Keaton? You didn't ask the question that I was waiting for you to ask that you usually ask when we get to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to know, what advice would you give the young trainee wrestler trying to start out in wrestling?
I think you asked us this before, I believe. You did an interview with us at a show before. I think I would have the same answer. It's just enjoy yourself, train hard, train well, try and dip your toes in as many places as possible, and just get your name out there. But most importantly, of all that, just enjoy yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah. I think when you asked me that, Keaton, I said skip uni. I was after a match. I don't know why I said that. Do uni if you want to do uni. I don't care. I'd say working hard is the most important thing. Like, you have to show up to training. You have to really put in the time. Like, you always hear it, but it's always like what you put in is what you get out. Like, we would not be anywhere close to where we are if we didn't go to as many classes as we can and work as hard as we can and take the feedback, be coachable. Like, this, I'm not breaking ground here. Anybody who's ever has always said this. Like, you just have to be coachable. You have to be open to criticism, and you have to work hard.
Yeah, constructive criticism, and 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 the other thing, Keaton, like I think I've told you this before, but get to know the other trainees you're training with. Get to know them. Get to know each other, because if you kind of isolate your personality, you're not going to grow with them. So, kind of get to know them too, and let them know you.
I think that's a great thing in Titanic as well. Like, really we're all pretty close knit together.
Everyone's very open with each other, and everyone like I say, well, the way our training works, you do the beginner's course, then you move up. Whenever you move up, you can always tell new people coming in. It was the same with us. You step into the class for the first time, you're like, oh my god, these guys are the big deal. They're on the show. They know what they're doing, and you feel a wee bit intimidated. But we try and like open our arms to everyone and try and like help everyone along and make sure everyone's up to speed and make it as open as possible for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, the more you feel,
Definitely.
the more you feel a part of it and like welcomed in, kind of, the more you're going to want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like a magnet kind of thing.
100%.
Yeah. So, well, I think we've kind of run out of our questions, right, Keaton? You've got through all yours. And is there anything? Is there anything that you wanted to say that maybe we didn't cover? Or anything, guys, that you can think of?
No, Megan. No, I think we covered everything that can be covered.
I mean, we don't know when, but there's a show coming up soon, I'm sure, and you guys will most likely be on that show, right? When it comes up.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, be on the lookout, and yeah. So, guys, thanks for coming in and everything, and I know there was a little. It's working great, but there was a little bit of a choppiness, but we got through most of it and could make out most of what you're saying all the time. So,
yeah,
I think we're good. All right, so Keaton, why don't we jump to the screen then of what's coming up next, I suppose, and we'll go over the future shows and wrap her up, huh? Yep. So this is what we got coming up. What's coming up first, Keaton? I got to look at these dates. May 11th. Okay, so May 1st. It's going to be the Superstars 86 Part 1. So the first Armory card, Keaton, with Dixie Dave and myself.
So this was, Dixie Dave was in the crowd at this point, wasn't he?
He was. He wasn't in the show yet, but he was in attendance here. There's about 300 and some fans that showed up for this. It was good. It was all right. That springboarded us into doing a bunch more live shows, though. That was cool. But I mean, quite a pretty good accomplishment for us. I mean, 16 years old and promoting a show like this. I mean, that was a big deal. I can't.
Yeah, pretty good.
But I just wish the wrestling was a little bit better. But it was good enough. It was good enough. So nobody complained. But it's a show like this though, Keaton, today wouldn't fly. But back then, old school style, yeah, we could do it. We could blend in. That was fun. That was gonna be a good show. And then with you on Kayfabe with Keaton, your next one, May 11th. Mr. Muscles. That's what the man.
No, his name. No, so his name.
That's what it says.
H&W Muscle. What for?
It says we have Mr. Muscles.
H&W Muscle. H&W Muscle.
I'm just reading it.
Oh yeah, you're right. It actually does say Mr. Muscles.
Mr. Muscles, aka Harlan Wolf. Then that's who it is, right? That's going to be our guest. May
so
11th.
we're supposed to be getting them on for Diabetes Month, but now we're finally getting them on to talk about diabetes and wrestling. So yeah, and that'll be good to have him on.
Yeah, should be good. And then I also I got to get to the layers. I normally don't say what's coming up on our next forward with me and Ricky, but I thought I would in this situation only because it's this guy on our next NWF forward with Wrestling Revolution Keaton, and I love the shirt.
Yep.
Good shirt.
And I was definitely
Good
wearing
choice.
that shirt, wasn't I?
You were good
And
choice. Ricky loves
and that was
saying
definitely my choice. Yeah. And that was definitely my choice.
It was. Did you like that shirt? I know you did.
Crossen didn't use any of his
And notice it's not a
technical
Canary
ability.
Kid. I just got to say, I noticed it wasn't a Canary Kid shirt. So good choice.
And I wasn't wearing a Canary Kid t-shirt before you done anything, wasn't it?
Well, Ricky liked it, so that's all that matters. And yeah, it's going to be a good thing. We're going to talk about your training, what you've been learning, and everything. Of course, Ricky's part of it, right? He helps train you guys, and yeah, so that should be good. And that's going to be on May 9th for our next forward with me and Canary. Be a little earlier, so it's going to be at. This is for you. I mean, so it's going to be 8 p.m. your time. So we're not going on at 10 o'clock like we usually do.
Yeah.
And then, I just want to remind...
In a different setting.
Yeah, different setting. And then I just want to remind... I guess we can come to our side-by-side screen that we're usually on. There we go. Is this the one? I think. Yeah. And I just wanted to say that... maybe I'm not in the right one. I thought this isn't the one because that's not my social medias. That's Tank. You see that?
Forgot to change it.
No, but I have it. Here we go. That's better. And then I just want to remind everybody that because I got the right social links. I don't want people going to Tank's page. But yeah, these guys. So once again, Keaton, they're doing this best of 3. Ricky is all excited because he won the first one. Your boy, the Canary Kid, who kicks the guy in the knee and then puts him in a figure 4 and thinks he's so great for that. Well, Ben, all I can say, Ben, is you got to put it together here and get this thing. You got to get on track because Keaton, as you know, if he sweeps it, if he beats Ben, then I'm going to get in the ring with Canary Kid. Not that I don't want to. I just don't want to hurt him. So I'm not.
When you say when you mean, when you say if, you mean when, because the Canary Kid over and over again has made Ben Nelson tap out. He has found Ben Nelson's weakness, and when the Canary Kid finds someone's weakness, he will capitalize on it. That's what a smart wrestler does. And, I understand the Crossen maybe wouldn't know much about that. He wanted to fight with honor, well, apparently, but as Kid USA Kelsey says, he broke his best friend's jaw, but we'll not talk about that. So, Crossen.
Okay.
Sorry, dislocated. Not as bad.
Yeah, well,
But
apparently, allegedly, I'll say. But, and then, so imagine that. Okay, let's just roll with what you just said. Okay, yeah, I dislocated his jaw. So what will I do to his jaw? Who the hell, Keaton, it could be, and you know what I feel bad for if I have to get in the ring? I feel bad for people like you because it's going to be so hard for you to watch your beloved Canary Kid get broke in half. And they're going to, and I don't, for your sake, Keaton. So listen, I just want to make it what it's supposed to be, and that's this match. So, and the only way that happens is if Ben Nelson gets his act together, finds his weakness, and gets him and takes care of business. That's all that has to happen here. Then we're back on track.
Doesn't have a weakness.
Oh,
Canary Kid doesn't have a weakness.
He has a weakness. I just thought it was hilarious when he first found out the contingency plan where he'd have to get in the ring with me, and he was just like a ghost. And then he quickly puts the facade on to fool everybody. But you know how he's thinking.
So would I be.
So Canary's got a lot on his mind and a lot on his plate here. We'll see. And then he's got his big match for his, they're doing a scramble match on May 4th. What is it? Canary Kid. Who are all the guys? Canary Kid, Dee Crooks, Sage.
So Jordan Nelson.
And then there's somebody. Oh, that Nando.
Nando Libre.
Nando Libre, yeah. So Canary thinks he's getting his belt back, so he's all excited. He just got
double champion.
He has a weakness, Keaton, and I know exactly what it is. But you see, because
does.
I'm a person of honor, I'm not going to tell Ben. But Ben, you just need to figure it out. Figure it out. Get things together. I got to be honest, Keaton. Ben is disappointing me here. I picked him because I figured he could take care of business. Not that I want him to win, but be competitive. Don't tap. Man, if that was me and Canary kicked my knee and put me in the figure 4, you know what would happen, Keaton? Canary
What?
Kid would be screaming in pain because I know how to reverse the damn thing, which is why you don't see the figure 4 so much anymore. If people are smart, they know what to do. So Ben just a little got caught off guard there, and he panicked. He panicked is what he did. So, yeah. Take that, Keaton. Take that. I'm going to get this graphic off because it's just
That
getting me
doesn't affect
upset.
me. You know,
So-
you can try to pick Ben Nelson. You can pick anyone. You could pick anyone in this world, and you can't be disappointed in Ben Nelson. No one was going to beat the Canary Kid. He is an unstoppable force, and he found the weakness on Ben Nelson, and he's capitalized on it. So I feel bad for Ben Nelson when he's going into this match because he has a whole lot coming for him. If he thinks this match is going to be easy, someone who's trained him, the Canary Kid, someone who's taught him everything he knows, has now disrespected the Canary Kid.
Okay, the Canary Kid has mentored him. There's a difference. I mean, look, I just think that these two should be able to put on a good match. The only reason I want these two is I want them to represent my whole thing. Remember, Keaton, my big thing was you guys come in here and give it the best you can and everything. And that very first time we announced the match when they were both there, they kind of were talking that way. And look at what's going on here. Canary Kid's resorting to dirty pool. You know, yeah, no, go ahead. Kick him in the knee. It's legal. And then put the figure 4. But is it ethical?
Exactly.
Is it ethical when it's your best friend? That's the thing. And look at Keaton, I know what it's like when you tear apart your friendship over a match. We just talked about it 2 days ago. Is this what they want? So
But you can't say nothing. You can't say nothing.
Why?
The Canary is it ethical to break your best friend's jaw?
Oh boy.
Canary Kid maybe hurt Ben Nelson's knee, but would he break someone's jaw? No.
Okay. Keaton, first of all, Kelsey is the biggest. You got to understand something about Kid Kelsey. He can sell beach property in Kansas. If you really think his jaw was dislocated, look, Kelsey, I love you, man, like a brother, but I would have heard about this when it happened. You're being bluffed and fooled just like everybody else. I just don't think I did that. Not on that move anyway. And if you watch it in slow motion, it just doesn't look like it's something that's going to break anybody's jaw or dislocate, or you keep saying breaking his jaw. It was dislocated, but yeah, I don't think so. And besides,
I saw it, like, the Kid Kelsey, were you the one that was feeling the pain? You weren't, so you can't say that he's just pretending, or that he's just pretended to dislocate his jaw. You could say that the Canary Kid could say that he didn't hurt Ben Nelson's knee, but he's admitted it. And, that's why the Canary Kid has way more honor than Crossen ever did. The fake 5-timer who decided to win, who scripted all of his matches for him to win the championships. You never won you never won a shoot title match, did you?
A shoot title match? Yeah, Kelsey. The one that went south. And we lost our friendship for about 6 weeks because of that. That's why shoots suck. So listen, all I'm going to say is this. Ben, pull it together. I know he's watching. Ben, pull it together. Okay? Just make things happen. Even it up. That's all you got to do. Just even it up.
Don't blame it on Ben. I'm
not blaming it on Ben. I'm just saying Ben needs to even it up. He's got to even the score. Is all he's got to do. And then he's back in the game.
Ben Nelson, I'm not taking anything away from Ben Nelson. An incredible performer, incredible wrestler in the ring. But when you mess with the Canary Kid, you can't even things up. It will never be evened up. That's why Canary Kid cannot do a best out of 3 falls match, or whatever it is, the best of 3 match, because he can't. And I know Crossen, I understand that you can't fly 5,000 miles just to hand the title over to him. So you may think of something quickly here, or else just be happy that the best wrestler is winning.
What do you mean think of something quickly here? You know that what's going to happen. So does Canary Kid, and Canary Kid he doesn't know what to do now. We've ruffled the feathers, if you will. So, anyways, we can talk. Keaton, you can get me going, and I'll be on here for the next hour trying to educate you on this. But I'm not. We don't have time for that. But anyways, I'm really looking forward to the future shows. Should be good. And on forward, you'll be with us, and I can just imagine how you're going to be praising your hero, the Canary
Oh
Kid,
yeah,
on that show. And I have to listen to both of you. But
as always.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Maybe I'll educate you.
Oh boy, you really are turning into the Canary Kid, aren't you? All right, so that's enough, guys. I think we're done. We're hitting the bottom of the hour, so I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a great interview with those guys. I always like learning
Yeah, it
about the
was.
other. Like I know a lot about NIPW, but when I learn about guys in Titanic and OTT and other areas, it's always great learning about them and hearing how it's going with them. And that's such a small island. If you took Ireland and you put it in the United States, it would be like a state, right? And so it's such a small area with so many things, so many different like indie leagues going on that island. That just kind of it's crazy
I
to
know
me.
there's so many.
Yeah. So that's just very interesting. Like I've told you before, Keaton, when I started out, NWF was its own thing, but then, for indie feds, I mean, Sharky had his, right, Minnesota at the time, and that was it. And then the next indie fed, I think, that I can remember would be Windy City in Chicago. So there just wasn't a lot. And like now, I think the Metro maybe has 3 or 4 or 5 indie feds. So indie feds are just so much. There's so many more prominent. There's just so many of them now compared to what there used to be. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool. And
definitely.
it's really, if you think about it, indie feds are kind of like the new territory system in a way. They just don't have a traveling champion. That's all they're missing. So, anyways, we should wrap it up. It was a great show, and looking forward to when we're on live again. So catch us. Me and Dave will be on Thursday, and then this show is May 11th. So it's another 2 weeks then, right? 2 weeks from now.
Hmm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
All right, 2 weeks with Keaton, and then of course me and Canary Kid in about 2 weeks as well with you.
Mm.
Wrestling Revolution Kid. Are you excited to come on forward?
Yeah, it'll be good. I can give Crusher double education. Maybe he'll finally understand that the Canary Kid is unbeatable.
It sounds like somebody wants me to get extra rough with you in that training seminar class thing I'm going to do with you guys when I get there, and that can be arranged.
Training seminar class. Well, if I'm doing any training seminar class with Crusher Crossen, we both know the way it's going to end. The Canary Kid takes the lead once again, and if Canary Kid gets his hands on you, I know you're one of them keyboard warriors who like to say things behind the screen, but when you go to meet the Canary Kid, you're going to get every single thing that you've said to the Canary Kid right back at you.
Well, you really are brainwashed by this kid. I don't know what he's told you. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. It's been a great show, and we're already an hour and a half now. So for Wrestling Revolution, Keaton Crusher Crossing, we will see you next time we are live.